Good morning. Listen up. It's 2025. The world is loud. Everywhere you turn, there's noise. Social media, news, opinions, distractions. Everyone is telling you how to live, what to think, what to do. But here's the truth. None of that matters. None of it. The only thing that matters, the only thing that has ever mattered is you. Your effort, your discipline, your focus. In 2025, there's one mission, one objective, one target. Focus only on yourself. Because let me tell you something. No one is coming to save you. No one's going to hand you success, health, or happiness. It's on you. The excuses, the complaints, the blame, they're dead weight. Cut them loose. They don't serve you. They don't move you forward. The world today is a relentless whirlwind of distractions. Everywhere you turn, there's noise, people shouting their opinions, distractions from social media, advertisements, and endless demands for your attention. It's a world that's designed to pull you away from what matters most, yourself. And if you allow it, this noise will consume you. It will rob you of your focus, sap your energy, and leave you chasing things that don't serve your purpose. But here's the truth, none of that noise matters. The opinions of others, the distractions, the endless chatter, they're meaningless unless you let them take root in your mind. So what's the solution? You silence the noise. That doesn't mean you can shut the world off entirely. The noise will always be there. But you can choose not to engage with it. You can decide to tune it out. The first step is realizing that the noise is not your enemy, it's your excuse. Every time you let someone else's opinions dictate your actions, every time you scroll endlessly through your phone instead of working on your goals, every time you let a distraction derail your progress, you're giving up your power. Insurance certainty over and over and over again is what leads to uncertainty. And here's the thing, the noise is seductive. It tells you that it's okay to take it easy. It tells you that you're doing enough. It lulls you into complacency with the illusion of connection and validation. But the truth is, the noise is a thief. It steals your focus, your energy, and your time. Three things you can never get back. You have to make a choice. You have to decide what matters more. The fleeting satisfaction of engaging with the noise or the long-term fulfillment of staying focused on your mission. Because make no mistake, your mission requires focus. It requires discipline. It requires you to block out the distractions and lock in on what's important. And here's the hard part. Silencing the noise isn't just about turning off your phone or ignoring negative comments. It's about changing your mindset. It's about understanding that the noise only has power over you if you let it. You have to learn to value your time and energy so much that you refuse to waste them on things that don't serve your goals. But silencing the noise isn't enough on its own. Once you've blocked out the distractions, you're left with something far more challenging, yourself. That's where the second part of this equation comes in, taking full responsibility. Taking full responsibility means owning every aspect of your life. It means looking at where you are right now, your health, your career, your relationships, your finances, and accepting that it's all a result of your choices. Every decision you've made, every action you've taken or failed to take has led you to this point. And here's the kicker. It's not about blame. It's about ownership. Blame is easy. It's easy to say, I'm not where I want to be because of my boss or my family or the economy. It's easy to point fingers and make excuses. But excuses don't change anything. They don't move you forward. They don't help you grow. All they do is keep you stuck in the same place, repeating the same patterns and wondering why nothing ever changes. Ownership, on the other hand, is hard. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to confront your mistakes, your failures, and your shortcomings. But it's also empowering, because once you take ownership, you realize that you have the power to change. If your current situation is a result of your choices, then your future can be too. And that's the beauty of responsibility. It puts the power back in your hands. When you stop blaming external factors and start looking inward, you open the door to growth. You start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to get better. You stop waiting for someone else to solve your problems and start taking action to solve them yourself. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It means admitting when you've fallen short, when you've made excuses, and when you've let the noise win. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about learning from your mistakes and using them as fuel to move forward. But here's the catch. Responsibility isn't a one-time thing. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily practice. Every day you have to wake up and decide to take ownership of your life. You have to choose to be accountable for your actions, your attitude, and your outcomes. And it's not always easy. There will be days when you want to fall back into old habits, when you want to make excuses or blame someone else. But those are the moments that matter most. Because every time you choose responsibility over excuses, you're building a habit. You're training yourself to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons. And here's the thing. Responsibility isn't just about your actions. It's about your mindset. It's about how you see yourself and your role in the world. When you take responsibility, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as the architect of your life. You realize that you have the power to create the future you want, not by wishing for it, but by working for it. So how do you take responsibility? You start small. You look at one area of your life where you've been making excuses and commit to changing it. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's your relationships. Whatever it is, start by taking ownership of it, admit where you've fallen short, identify what needs to change, and take action. And don't stop there. Once you take responsibility for one area of your life, move on to the next. Keep pushing yourself to grow, to improve, and to take ownership of everything in your life. Because the more you take responsibility, the more control you have, and the more control you have, the more empowered you feel. But remember, responsibility isn't about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or always having everything together. It's about being willing to learn, to adapt, and to keep moving forward no matter what. It's about taking ownership of your failures as well as your successes and using both to fuel your growth. So, here's the bottom line. Silence the noise and take full responsibility. The world will always be full of distractions, opinions, and excuses. But none of that matters. What matters is what you choose to focus on and how you choose to respond. You have a choice. You can let the noise control you, or you can tune it out and focus on your mission. You can make excuses, or you can take responsibility. You can stay stuck in the same place, or you can take ownership of your life and start moving forward. The choice is yours. But remember this, the noise will never stop. The distractions will never go away. And no one is coming to save you. It's up to you to silence the noise, take responsibility, and create the life you want. The toughest battles we face aren't fought against the world. They're fought within ourselves. The inner enemy is always there, lurking in the shadows, whispering doubts and sowing hesitation. It's the part of you that tells you to take it easy, to put things off, to settle for less than you're capable of. And here's the hard truth. That enemy is more dangerous than anything you'll face in the outside world. Why? Because it knows you better than anyone else. It knows your fears, your weaknesses, and your insecurities. And it will use them against you. The inner enemy doesn't attack with force. It works subtly, planting thoughts like you can do it tomorrow, or you're doing fine, there's no need to push harder. At first these thoughts seem harmless, but over time they compound. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and suddenly you're looking back and wondering why you haven't made progress. That's how the inner enemy wins, by keeping you stuck in a cycle of comfort and complacency. You're simple, but here's the good news. You don't have to let it win. You can defeat the inner enemy. And it starts with awareness. You have to recognize when that voice creeps in. You have to call it out for what it is. Fear, laziness, or self-doubt disguised as reason. When you hear yourself thinking, I'll do it later, stop and ask yourself why. Why are you delaying? What are you avoiding? And more importantly, what will happen if you don't take action right now? Once you've identified the inner enemy, the next step is to confront it. And that requires discipline. Discipline is your greatest weapon against the part of you that wants to quit, that wants to stay comfortable, that wants to avoid the hard work. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're unmotivated, or if you don't feel like it. Discipline says, do it anyway. But here's the thing about discipline. It's not something you're born with, it's a skill you build, one decision at a time. Every time you choose to act in spite of how you feel, you're strengthening your discipline. Every time you push through discomfort, you're weakening the inner enemy. And over time, those small decisions add up. They create momentum. They build confidence, and they remind you that you're stronger than your doubts, your fears, and your excuses. Defeating the inner enemy also means letting go of perfection. One of the enemy's favorite tactics is to convince you that if you can't do something perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all. It tells you that if you don't have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect circumstances, there's no point in starting. But here's the truth. Perfection is a myth. There's no such thing as the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect anything. The only thing that matters is action. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. And that brings us to another key point, consistency. The inner enemy thrives on inconsistency. It loves when you start strong but fade out when things get hard. It loves when you make excuses for skipping one day, then another, then another. That's why consistency is so important. It's not about doing a lot all at once. It's about doing a little every day, no matter what. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it and proving to yourself that you're committed to the process. But defeating the inner enemy isn't just about action, it's also about mindset. You have to change the way you see challenges, failures, and setbacks. The inner enemy wants you to see them as reasons to quit. It wants you to believe that if you fail, it means you're not good enough. But that's a lie. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to get better. Every setback is a chance to prove to yourself that you're resilient, that you can adapt, and that you're not afraid to keep going. Now, while you're fighting the inner enemy, there's another trap you need to avoid, looking around at what everyone else is doing. It's tempting, isn't it, to compare your progress to someone else's, to measure your worth against their achievements. But here's the reality. Comparison is a distraction. It pulls your focus away from where it should be on your own journey. Staying in your lane means committing to your path, your goals, and your progress. It means understanding that your journey is unique, and comparing it to someone else's is not only unproductive, it's unfair. You don't know their struggles, their sacrifices, or their circumstances, just like they don't know yours. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. But staying in your lane isn't just about avoiding comparison. It's also about trusting the process. It's about understanding that growth takes time and that success isn't always linear. There will be ups and downs, peaks and valleys. Some days it will feel like you're making huge strides, and other days it will feel like you're standing still. That's normal. The key is to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow. And here's another thing. Staying in your lane means defining success on your own terms. It's easy to get caught up in what society says you should want. Money, status, recognition, but none of that matters if it doesn't align with your values and your goals. True success isn't about meeting someone else's expectations. It's about living a life that's meaningful to you. So how do you stay in your lane? You start by getting clear on your goals. What do you want to achieve? Why does it matter to you? The more specific you can be, the easier it will be to stay focused. Next, set boundaries. Decide what you're willing to sacrifice for your goals and what you're not. And most importantly, learn to say no to distractions, to comparison, and to anything that doesn't align with your mission. Staying in your lane also means celebrating your wins, no matter how small they may seem. Every step forward is progress. Every challenge you overcome is a victory. Don't downplay your achievements because they don't look like someone else's. Own them. Be proud of them. And let them remind you of how far you've come. And finally, staying in your lane means practicing patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't come easy. It takes time, effort, and consistency. But if you stay focused, if you keep pushing forward, and if you refuse to let the inner enemy or the outside world distract you, you'll get there. So here's the bottom line. The battle is within. The enemy is inside you, and defeating it requires discipline, action, and a commitment to growth. And while you're fighting that battle, stay in your lane. Focus on your journey, trust the process, and define success on your own terms. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you're moving forward, becoming better, and staying true to yourself. The inner enemy is strong, but you're stronger. The distractions are tempting, but your focus is unshakable. The road ahead is long, but you're ready. So stop looking around. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop building the future you deserve. The clock is ticking. Every second that passes is one you'll never get back. Every moment of hesitation, every excuse, every decision to delay action is time lost forever. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and if you're not using it to its full potential, you're wasting the most precious asset in your life. That's why in 2025, there's one thing that must become non-negotiable: relentless action. Relentless action means moving forward no matter what. It means making progress even when you're tired, even when you're unmotivated, even when it feels like everything is working against you. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Success isn't handed out. It's earned through consistent, disciplined effort. But let's be clear, relentless action isn't just about being busy. It's not about doing more for the sake of doing more. It's about doing the right things. It's about focusing on what truly matters and cutting out everything that doesn't. That requires clarity. You need to know exactly what your mission is, what your goals are, and what steps you need to take to achieve them. Without that clarity, relentless action can quickly turn into aimless motion. And motion without direction is a waste of time. So how do you ensure your actions are aligned with your mission? You start by identifying your priorities. What are the things that will move the needle? What tasks will bring you closer to your goals? Once you've identified those priorities, you attack them with everything you've got. You don't wait for the perfect time. You don't wait until you feel ready. You start now and you keep going, one step at a time. Relentless action also means embracing discomfort. The truth is, growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. If you want to achieve something you've never achieved before, you have to be willing to do things you've never done before. That means taking risks. It means pushing yourself to the limit. It means failing and getting back up again and again. Discomfort is the price of progress. And if you're not willing to pay it, you'll never reach your full potential. But here's the thing, relentless action isn't glamorous. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic breakthroughs. Most of the time, it's about doing the small, unexciting tasks that add up over time. It's about showing up when no one's watching, putting in the work when no one's cheering you on, and staying consistent even when it feels like you're not making progress. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. And this is where ownership comes into play. You can't prioritize relentless action without taking full ownership of your mission. Owning your mission means taking complete responsibility for your life, your choices, and your outcomes. It means accepting that no one else is going to do the work for you. No one else is going to hand you success. It's on you. When you own your mission, you stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck. You understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every setback is a chance to learn, and every failure is a stepping stone to success. Ownership means seeing challenges not as barriers, but as tests of your commitment. It's about proving to yourself day after day that you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. In 2025, owning your mission means setting a standard for yourself and refusing to settle for anything less. It means holding yourself accountable, even when it's hard, even when no one else is watching. It means being honest with yourself about where you're falling short and committing to doing better. Because here's the truth, the only person standing between you and your goals is you. Owning your mission also means being intentional with your time and energy. It means saying no to distractions, to excuses, to anything that doesn't align with your goals. It means making sacrifices, giving up short-term comfort for long-term success, choosing discipline over indulgence, and prioritizing growth over complacency. Ownership is about taking control of your life and refusing to let anything or anyone derail your progress. But ownership isn't just about discipline. It's also about belief. You have to believe in your mission. You have to believe in yourself. That belief isn't something that just happens. It's something you build day by day through your actions. Every time you push through a challenge, every time you stay disciplined, every time you make progress, you're proving to yourself that you're capable. And that belief becomes the foundation for everything you do. Relentless action and ownership go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Relentless action without ownership is unsustainable. It's just busy work. And ownership without action is meaningless. It's just empty words. But when you combine the two, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who doesn't just set goals, but achieves them. In 2025, that combination is non-negotiable. This year isn't going to hand you anything. It's not going to be easier than years before. In fact, it might be harder. But that's the point. If you're waiting for the perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. The time to act is now. Owning your mission means understanding that the challenges you face are part of the process. They're not roadblocks. They're stepping stones. Every challenge you overcome, every setback you bounce back from, every failure you learn from is a victory. It's proof that you're on the right path. And here's the thing, your mission in 2025 isn't just about achieving a specific goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who can achieve any goal. It's about building the habits, the discipline, and the mindset that will serve you for the rest of your life. Because once you've proven to yourself that you can take relentless action, that you can own your mission, that you can overcome any obstacle, there's nothing you can't achieve. But let's be clear, this isn't easy. There will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be days when the work feels overwhelming, when the progress feels too slow, when the doubts creep in. Those are the moments that matter most, because those are the moments when you have a choice. You can give in to the discomfort, the fatigue, the fear, or you can push through. You can keep going even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. That's what relentless action looks like. And when you keep going, when you stay consistent, when you refuse to quit, something incredible happens. You build momentum. You start to see progress. The small wins start to add up. And before you know it, you're achieving things you once thought were impossible. That's the power of relentless action. So here's the challenge in 2025. Prioritize relentless action and own your mission. Stop waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, or the right motivation. Start now. Take the first step, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you do. Not what you say you're going to do, not what you hope to do, but what you actually do. The results you want, the life you want, the person you want to become, they're all on the other side of action. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Take ownership of your mission and attack it with relentless action. Because 2025 isn't just another year, it's your year. It's the year you take control of your life, the year you push past your limits, the year you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Let's get after it.